yumacity.org. We are glad that you've chosen us. Stay tuned for What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter. It's 10 o'clock.
Exactly how does Border Radio bring you some of the most incredible music on the planet? Listener support. Donations from people who care. Your support is an investment in the powerful idea that handcrafted songs from yesterday and today should be accessible, relevant, and always playing for everyone. Visit borderradioaz.org to support the music, and thanks.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And on today's program, we are going to be joined first by Henry Valenzuela. He reached out to us earlier last month now. Yeah, we're in a new month.
Yeah.
He's running for city council.
Yeah.
Big announcement. So we're going to talk to him about what made him do that.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to hear his campaign.
And we're going to also be joined by
my landlord, Justin Haile.
Yeah, but not about your landlord stuff. That's what we're going to talk to him. But
he's a great landlord.
But he did give away a truck.
Yes, it's huge.
And you didn't get it right.
Oh, I'm so bummed.
Yeah, we're going to find out more about that. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. And you can stream right now on the Border Radio Facebook page and KAWC YouTube page. And email us at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
Chili from Philly. Unique Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And if you saw her announcement yesterday,
I was about to say we have an announcement.
Yeah,
two actually.
Okay, we have two announcements.
But go ahead.
If you saw her announcement on Instagram or Facebook yesterday, I'll let her make it on here publicly. Yeah,
it's my farewell week.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. I am parting from the show, and it's been amazing, but life throws you opportunities and you walk through those doors. But I'll be back on the air before you know it, mark my words. But no, I'm gonna miss everybody here, and it's just been a blast. But yeah, I did announce it yesterday on my little post, so we thought we would actually talk about it today.
Yeah, when Henry came in, he was like, "Where's Ronnie? Is Ronnie gonna be here?" That's the first thing he said. It's like, "I don't want just you. Where's she at?" And I'm like, I cried
Where's
in the
the
corner
star?
for a little while. Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, cat's out of the bag. And so are you going to be looking for a new co-host?
Yeah. So yeah, people already started to email me. Yeah. You said it. Yeah. So people already reached out. I actually have a meeting with somebody right at 11:15 here at the Starbucks. After we get,
I'm going to see who it is. I'm going to be a stalker outside the window.
Here's a hint. Her name is also Veronica.
Shut up.
Yeah. Dead serious.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Was she going to go by Ronnie or Veronica?
I don't know. Verani. I'm going to call her
Johnny and Veronica. You make her go by Ronnie. It sounds better. Johnny and Ronnie.
Yeah. So you have to.
Or
you sign your rights away to your name on this when you come over.
I love that.
Yeah.
I told you because he's like, I don't know who to replace you with. I'm like, believe me, they will be calling you.
Yeah. People are like sending me resumes and stuff.
I love it.
Yeah. Here's what I've done in media before and stuff.
Hire me.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, anyways, it's still all about me this week, so
it's all about Ronnie still. And I think the second announcement is, and then I'm going to make a third one.
Oh my God, can I go next?
Yeah, you're going to go next because it's not about you. It's about
our guest.
Our guest,
and it's his birthday.
Yay!
It's Henry's birthday.
Fireworks and things.
And I love birthdays. Yeah. I am anti-holiday and pro-birthday. So happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
I love it.
And so the next thing I'll say, it's also my cousin's birthday, Marie Mesa. It's her birthday. Right. She turns 50 today.
The big one.
She's 50. We were talking about it earlier in 2025. Like, I can't believe I'm going to be 50 next year. And so happy birthday, Marie.
Happy
I put
birthday.
up if you look on my Instagram or Facebook, I put a picture of us together back when I think I was maybe 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old. And she's always been my bigger cousin that protected me, and she's biggest support in my life, actually. So I love you, Marie. Happy birthday if you're listening.
Henry, do you want to tell us your age? You don't have
47
to.
today.
47.
Okay.
Congrats. I'll be 40 next year.
All right.
But I hear 40s is amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm excited for my 40s.
Great.
Like, I feel like 20s was a crap show. 30s was like learning, and 40s, I'm like, I'm going to hit my peak.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where you a lot of clarity happens in your 40s.
Yeah. And then I've read that men later on, they don't really get their brains together until like after 30 sometime,
Mine might have been after 40.
Yeah, after 40, that's mine.
I'll
40.
say I agree.
Yeah, so it's definitely after 40 because my birthday, I was born in 80, so I know how old I am depending on what year it's going to be, right? So I'm going to be 46 this year, and I was like, wow. 45, it's like, that's cool. Like 46, I am. It's like, wow, I'm on the other side of that now.
Right.
Yeah,
Bo's
so
44,
just get started.
Yeah,
just getting started. There you go.
Started.
I think, I looked at like the guys in Hollywood, like George Clooney gets better looking as he gets
Every
older.
year.
It's like, wait a minute, I want to go on that track, that trajectory.
How does he do that?
Because and I'm dead serious about George Clooney, because if you look back when he was young, he was on Roseanne and he was a dork. If you go seriously, if you go back and look at George Clooney when he did that Roseanne show, he was a dork on there, and then
he was on that show.
A lot of people did it
nice
because
hair,
he was.
though.
He did have nice hair.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I'm like, that's all I remember.
Yeah, but he played kind of like a dorky dude that she worked with. But anyhow.
And now look at him.
Yeah, now look at him. So it's like we're gonna get better as we go. High five, Brent.
Just getting started.
Yeah, just getting started. So happy birthday!
Yes.
And Henry is with us because he reached out. He made an announcement that he wanted to torture himself by running for city council. And I say torture just because there's not a lot of pay and there's a lot of demand, right?
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm being a little
It's a servant
facetious.
job for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's 100% somebody that wants to be a servant of our community, and you have to be selfless because you ain't doing it for the cha-ching.
That's
no.
right. That's right.
So, well,
I've made a lot of those decisions in my life.
about that, like that way.
Where you don't think I'm not doing things like, for example, when I started my career as a police officer, I made just under $12.50 an hour. I worked for Somerton Police Department. This is now 20 plus years ago, but I started there, and it wasn't about the money. It was, something that I thought I would be able to do, to contribute, give back, and do something meaningful. And it's always been, when I joined the Army, I joined as a private first class. And I remember, they were very, very small checks as a private first class. I already had a family at the time, and so it was difficult. My first deployment was difficult because I deployed as a private first class. And, and so sometimes you do things, I think as long as you're doing things to serve a purpose, and to kind of for things work out. The finances work out.
Yeah.
But I'm not supporting my family on the city council.
Yeah, no, nobody could. You can't support yourself on it. You could maybe go out to eat twice a month, and then that's it. It's like, oh, my money's gone. No, so we like to get to know our guests. So where are you from originally?
Born and raised here in Yuma.
Born and raised in Yuma. So you said you were in military for a little bit,
right?
Or?
So I joined the Army National Guard kind of late in life. Actually.
Oh, okay.
I joined when I was something like 27-ish, maybe 28, something like that. And so I've been doing that for almost 20 years now.
Okay, and the reason why I ask it that way is because normally when I ask people if they're in the military, that's what usually brings them to Yuma.
Yes.
It's like, and then so you were already here,
right?
And you joined it. So, but what schools do you go to as a youngster here in Yuma?
So I went to Woodard as well. Okay, so elementary school, I was kind of all over the place. We moved a lot when we were kids. I think I've lived in about 16 different places, all within Yuma.
Wow.
When you were a youngster?
So I think when I was graduating high school, I counted, and we lived in 14 different. So I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And we had lived in 14 different homes, apartments in different places. A little bit in Somerton, mostly in Yuma. And so so that's kind of where I've been all over Yuma.
Yeah.
And I think when you move around a lot as a kid, I don't know how people think it affects people. Maybe there's a psychologist out there somewhere that can kind of look into why.
Yeah, we need help. He needs help, guys. If you're a psychologist,
But
Henry's looking for
I
you.
did get to learn to talk to people, to get to know people.
Yeah, well, you're kind of
Make
forced
new
to,
friends,
though, right?
right.
You have to make new friends. That's what you said. Like you leave, you pack your bags,
Exactly.
you go over here, and Tyler's not at that school anymore.
That's
That's
right.
your
Yep.
buddy, and you're over here meeting Chris, and it's like, hey, Chris, you want to be friends?
And I'll tell you that for my brother and I, it was not traumatic to move from school to school or move. So it was one of the most, we didn't go on a lot of vacations as kids.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of money. But when we would move from one place to another, we were always renting one place and we'd rent the next place. Some of the most exciting things was going into that house that didn't have any furniture. And we'd run around the house and then pick a room.
Yeah.
If there was more than one, and then sometimes, and then we'd find out, okay, it's only a 2-bedroom. Okay, cool.
We gotta share.
We're sharing.
Yeah,
That was fun.
You make
too.
it work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, the new school, we knew like, okay, within the first week or two, we'd make some new friends. And that's what it was, I don't know. It was just kind of accidentally, we were very positive about it. And it always
Positive, and then it caused you to be gregarious and have to go out and make new friends constantly. So you have to be a little bit of a people person to do that, or else you're going to be lonely. And you chose to go that different direction. So you said 18. joined the military 27. So what was your career path looking like when you're 18? Did you have any direction or something you wanted to do?
Right. So I did really well in high school as far as academics go. And so I had a scholarship to go to Arizona State. So I went to Arizona State. And while I was there, I was dating my girlfriend, who is now my wife. And so I started working for State Farm Insurance. I had a friend that was an agent here in Yuma, and she got me involved. And so I was in the printing, inserting, and mailing center there in the Phoenix area, and that was a college job. But pretty quickly, I kind of got promoted and kind of got selected, and then I got married. We got married when we were 19.
Wow!
And so we got married. She was still living in Yuma. We got married. She moved up, and so we were living in Tempe, and so kind of the career path became more important than the school path. The advice I give my kids is stay in school because there's always time for everything else. But at the time I was 19 and married and, in love, and everything was wonderful. And so State Farm offered me a position as an agent. So I was an agent where Kathy Nutzi's office is on Avenue B. That was originally my office, more than 20 years ago. And so I did that for about 3 years. And that was fun. I learned a lot about running my own business. I was very young at the time.
So that was here.
Right.
You guys moved back.
We moved back to Yuma, right? So I was 21 years old when I became an agent, did it for about 3 years. And I think I was the youngest agent in the country at the time, but it was successful. It was good, but I just decided it wasn't for me. And so I needed to find something else to do. So kind of looked around, did a little bit of real estate investing. And at the time, the market was good. So I was buying and selling houses and that kind of thing. And that was good for a little bit, but my wife said, you need to find something more steady. And so here's how it worked is one day I'm sitting there, following her advice about finding something steady. She looked through the newspaper and the wanted ads. And she said, hey, what about this? And it was Somerton Police Department was hiring. I said, you want me to be a cop? And she said, well, you like watching cops?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Really, that was my qualification right there. She thought
that's what you went into when you got your interview too. It's like, hey, I watch a lot of cops. I know how to do it.
I know what I'm doing.
You know what?
So I did that, and it was kind of the rest is history. I worked for Somerton for a year. I loved it in Somerton.
Tell me about the police training. How was that? The academy, I should say.
So I went to an academy called Carlotta, which was at Central Arizona College. And kind of like they have the AWC Academy here. It was similar. That was one of the first ones that did it up there in Central Arizona College. I don't think that academy's there anymore, but while it was there, it was, very academically intense, but also very physically intense. And I did really well through the academy and graduated and went back down to Somerton, started my field training, got through that. And then one day I went to a class, a DUI class actually in Yuma that Yuma PD was putting on. And through that, somebody said, hey, we're hiring. And at the time they weren't hiring, when I was applying the year prior. Found out they were hiring, went home, had that tough conversation with my wife because I loved it in Somerton. There, I still love those folks in Somerton. The chief of police in Somerton, Araceli Juarez, she was my first FTO in Somerton, and some of those others. I have I really like Somerton and Somerton Police Department. But anyway, so I got hired in Yuma and worked, almost, a little over 20 years total between Somerton and Yuma. And so I did a lot at the police department. I was on the gang unit. I was a detective. I did some major crimes detective, some homicide cases, and then eventually got promoted. I was a detective sergeant and eventually retired as a patrol lieutenant.
What was your favorite?
So my favorite was my sergeant time, both in patrol. I had a really good squad of young, eager officers that really wanted to learn, and I have this passion to teach and share the information I had, and they were very eager to learn, and so they were very, very proactive and wanted to learn, wanted to do the right thing. My philosophy on policing is that the only reason that police exists is to protect people's rights. And I think as long as you start with that first principle, then everything else will fall into place. And so whether it is a suspect, a victim, a witness, as long as you're always trying to protect people's rights, you're going to do the right thing. And as police officers, we have to make decisions that are split second decisions. But if you start with that first principle and you kind of do that day after day after day, then you're going to do the right.
So that sounds like it would be tough to do it with somebody that's a perpetrator of some crime, right? That seems like that's where you would really need to keep that in mind. Like, wait a minute. Well, it's tough, but it's also you definitely have to, because if not, they could get away with stuff. It was like, hey, he violated my rights here, and that could hold up in court, and then you throw out the case of a guy that did something. So
right. And so if you think about things like, for example, where there's a victim involved, if you do something where you end up violating somebody's rights, then the victim doesn't get the justice.
The justice,
right?
Yeah.
And so, but even beyond that, it's not the right thing to do, right? It's just generally not the right thing to do. And, I've never been in trouble with the law, but, that's probably has a lot to do with my circumstances and where I am in life and where I come from. But, if things would have been different, I might have been on, and I've always thought about that, if circumstances would have been different, that could be me.
Absolutely.
And so, I tell you what is one of the things is I've gotten into situations of where you have to arrest somebody, and sometimes there's a violent, the person doesn't want to go to jail.
Yeah,
right?
no,
They're like, I'm not going back.
Maybe they're intoxicated. Maybe they're under the influence, and the fight is on, and
that's crazy.
And at the end of the fight, I remember and even other officers would say, like, there's something different about that, because when the fight's over, then there doesn't need to be additional force once the fight's over. And once a person's handcuffed, then you wipe off their face and you give them some dignity and you treat that person with respect. And I'll tell you that throughout my career, I did that on a regular basis. And later on, some of those people that I arrested, would shake my hand or said, you're one of the good ones. And I don't think I was one of the good ones. I think that there's a lot of police officers out there that again, and so at my time as a sergeant, when I was able to instill those values in those young officers.
I just want to highlight that real quick, and then kind of what you said, that's the same as, but for the grace of God.
That's right.
There go I.
Right.
My husband loves that saying.
Yeah. It's like, and I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, just because some certain decisions, or just because I was born in this place or whatever, it's like, I could be there. And but one of my favorite philosophers, Carl Jung, actually, it's the coolest story ever. They wanted him to condemn Hitler at the time. They went to him to condemn, and Hitler's an easy guy to condemn, and he wouldn't do it. Right. He wouldn't do it publicly, propaganda wise, to do it, because he said, look, at different circumstances, that could be me.
Well, and totally. When you think about that, and like every person deserves dignity, human dignity, and respect, no matter what their situation is. And as long as we do that, then the world becomes kind of a better place.
Yeah. And I got to say, and it took me a while to get over I grew up in Okie Town, where like a lot of activity was. And I remember the first time a cop threw me on the back of his cop car. I was walking home. I was literally like not even 10 feet from my house. And they just did that and arrested me for nothing. I was like, that's my home. Like, what are you doing? Right. And it just put a bad taste in my mouth for police officers because of that one guy. I ended up seeing him later in life after he retired. And I confronted him just because that was such a pivotal thing in my mind. Right. Like, why would you do that? I wasn't doing anything, but he just did it. He was bored. He didn't remember it, the incident,
one
right?
Of many.
Yeah, like he doesn't, but he did it, and it's like, what, why'd you put that bad taste in my mouth towards the police officers? Later on, I had to get past it. I worked with people on how to do that. Shout out to Russ Clark; he really helped me with it, and I started to see him. Okay, they're here to protect, serve, and.
Right. So there's, what we call that is, so in Hawthorne Police Department started a program called Coffee with a Cop, and we have it here in Yuma, and it was Eric Egan and I went to a class that was put on by Hawthorne Police Department. We're the two that brought that to the Yuma community, that Coffee with a Cop. And I really do recommend to the public to go to those Coffee with a Cop, sit down with an officer, have a conversation. It's usually just a conversation like we're having.
Yeah.
It's not really about trying to accomplish anything. It's just about realizing that officers are humans, and then reminding the officers that the community are humans, right? We're all people just trying to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
I've had run-ins with cops too. I know we're going to take a break right now, but anytime I told the truth, they let me go.
Yeah, there you go.
Seriously, they're like, "Where is it?" And I'm like, "It's in my purse." And they're like, "Okay, leave." Like they just took it and let me go. And then the one time I lied, I got arrested.
There you
go. But I was drunk. So I shouldn't have been driving.
Well, now I'll call the cops on you quick. Like they're my friends. Like I brought up that one situation.
We're
like
narcs over here.
Yeah, like I love it. It's like real quick.
Yes.
Oh, you're speeding in my neighborhood. Oh, what's
Fireworks,
the license plate?
10:02 p.m.
It's like there it is. Or that one time I woke up and then I stepped out my door and my neighbors, some guy is just in my neighbor's house and nobody lives there.
Right.
And it's like, the cop came. Right. He was super cool. He's like, actually, I saw that guy earlier over on Maple and he was walking around. So it's like,
they're my friends now because I don't do bad things anymore.
We don't do any bad things anymore. So
I've straightened up.
We're walking the straight and narrow here on What's Up Yuma. But yes, we got to take a break.
I know.
And on the other side of the break, we'll find out what made him make this decision or what led him to make this decision to run for city council. We're going to do that after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio. Yeah, I had to disconnect it.
Hey, this is Jay with Mixtape, the radio show all about sharing music from the days of cassette tapes and before the time of online. We'll listen to artists from the 70s, 80s, and 90s playing some of the greatest alternative hits, along with songs you may have never heard but wish you had. Each episode will have a theme, bringing back the lost art of mixtapes with no rules nor a perfect recipe, just a love for music. Join me for Mixtape on 94.7 Kofa Border Radio, or on the Kofa app, Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 2 in the afternoon.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio Yuma. We expect a partially cloudy day in Yuma with an afternoon high of 70 degrees. Winds are out of the northeast around 5 miles per hour, and the low this evening is 53. Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva will hold constituent office hours at Somerton City Hall. You can listen to or read this report online at kwc.org.
The Yuma Art Center will host the annual Yuma Art Symposium, February 19th through the 21st at the Art Center and locations within Yuma's historic North End. The 3-day event will include exhibitions, demonstrations, and presentations. Presenters will share insights into disciplines including metal, clay, photography, and painting. More information is at yumasymposium.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here with Henry, the future city councilman. I'm calling it right now.
We're manifesting it right now.
Right after all that.
My husband Bo just texted me and he said, I've known Henry his whole life. I grew up with his little brother, Richie. He was my best friend in elementary school. So Bo loves you.
Oh, very cool.
Bo.
Yeah.
Great man.
Oh,
Great
that's
man.
awesome.
Honey, he likes you.
So is that because you grew up like in this because you moved around a lot? So
yeah,
like,
where
I
did
wonder.
you guys go to elementary school?
Alice Burn.
Yeah, that's where he went.
And Crane Pueblo.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bo went to Alice Burn and Woodard and all
Woodard.
the things.
Yep.
My kid went to Woodard. We had Woodard principal on yesterday.
Yeah.
That was cool.
A lot of Woodard connections
There we go.
this week.
Roadrunners.
Woohoo.
Yeah. So then but you're an officer. You said your best time there was as a sergeant.
Yeah.
What is the role of a sergeant? Just help me understand.
You have
that
a
real quick.
squad. So you have a squad. So if you're a
wow.
patrol sergeant, you have a patrol squad of about 6 to 10 guys, usually about 8. And then if you're a detective sergeant, you run one of the units. So I was in the child, family, and sex crimes unit.
Wow.
That must be a very
That's
difficult.
crazy.
Very difficult. That was the most rewarding, but the most difficult
Like
work that I
taxing,
did. It
that you
really
see a
is
lot.
difficult to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those images or investigations or cases, but it's
Wow.
you think back at your life and without getting too much into it, there are some people that are those detectives saves people's lives.
That's right.
Yeah, you
Very
know,
much
and
so.
you definitely have to do it with a certain mindset,
That's
right?
right.
So I just got to get this off my chest or say this. So I moved into a different office, and the office or I guess the space next to me is where kids go, like in that they're in like some kind of the system to go meet with their parents when their parents lost their rights.
So visitation.
Visitation.
Exactly.
So like there's this room where visitation happens, and like I'm sitting there and I'm trying to do work, and I'm hearing the kids like, I miss you, Mom. I miss you, Dad.
Horrible,
I love you.
dude.
And I'm just like, oh.
I'd be like sobbing as I'm typing.
Yeah. And I'm just like totally like, oh my goodness. I'm trying to do it.
You can imagine what that child's feeling. Like, why aren't you taking me home?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God.
Shout out to all the social workers that I see there. Very professional. They bring the kids in. Usually like the mom or their dad or their parents are out there. They have like a bag of stuff for them to play with and a backpack and some stuff. But I'm just seeing this every day now, and I'm constantly, and it's just like, wow, the people that are in that industry or people that help with kids around those things, definitely.
Like,
it's
props to you guys.
Props to you guys.
Before,
so shout out.
like, we don't have to talk about this for much longer. Did you say you were a homicide detective?
Right.
Dude, that was awesome. I love like shows like that where they like find out who did it. Like, I always wanted to be a detective. I just don't want to get shot. Like, I don't want to. I don't
think that's a prerequisite for.
But you never know. Like, you catch the bad guy, and they're like, "I'm not going to jail," And so, like, I love detective stuff. Like, I love finding out who did it.
Yes, I'll tell you, those cases are long-term cases. So patrol cases are, you get a case, sometimes 3 or 4 in one day. 15 a week, and it's just like you get it and move on. With the especially the major crimes detective investigations, those are months, and then the trials are long-term and that kind of thing. And so I had that experience. I had quite a bit of success, and I'm very happy with the way that I kind of brought my gang expertise into those investigations, and so I got assigned some of those cases that had a gang nexus and homicide and that kind of thing. And so it's very rewarding.
Cool.
All right. So then your time there, then you decide to retire, or what was that like?
Right. So it was the end of my career. It was time to move on to.
So what does that mean? Like, is it like, okay.
You have to do 20 years.
Okay.
You have to do 20 years. And then anytime after 20 years, you can either enter into the drop or you can just retire. And
what is the drop?
The drop is where you retire but can stay employed. So it's something that the system put in place to retain officers with some seniority. And so there's a lot of financial advantages to doing that, because you get to start collecting your retirement. It goes into like an interest-bearing account, and it's held there for you. And then you get to keep your full salary while you're working. And so a lot of officers do that financially. It makes a lot of sense to do that. For me, it made a lot more sense just to move on.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you retired.
I am retired.
Wow.
So when was this? It was pretty recent, right?
Oh, wow.
You just retired in April.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so did you have aspirations to run back in April?
I've had aspirations to run for some time, but you cannot run while you're a city employee.
Oh,
and so
gotcha.
I've
because the city council, they kind of like your boss, right?
Right.
Like
yeah.
Conflict,
Right. So you have city council, and city council,
and then has one employee, the city admin,
the city administrator, and then the city administrator. He, all the directors, the fire chief, the police chief, the HR director, all answer to them, and then of course they have their respective departments. And so because of that, there's something in place that says that you cannot be a city employee and be on city council, because it would be
there's a little bit of a conflict there, I guess. Absolutely.
So I always knew that I enjoy politics. I'm one of these weirdos that reads the entire city budget when it comes out. I read the entire CIP.
Wow.
I don't know that you're going to find very
no, not at all.
If I want to fall asleep,
right,
sure.
Right. And I really nerd out on that stuff. I really do. It's weird. My wife is like, "Oh goodness,
like, can we stop talking about this?"
Right. But did you know that on page 57, this kind of thing?
She's like, "No, I didn't. Tell me."
She's like, "Not at all."
You're the only one in town that knows this.
So and so I do pay attention to I watch the city council meetings that I don't attend. These days I attend most of them, but over the years I've stayed involved. I kind of, I started doing that maybe 6-7 years ago, and have remained, remained engaged. And so,
what brought you to your first city council meeting? Like you said, 6 or 7 years ago. Why did you go to your first one?
So when Chief Lee Can was the chief of police, he put together a committee, and at the time this is 2016, and he brought in some folks and said, hey, we may be having a tax thing, and if it passes, we may have some money available. And Greg Wilkinson at the time was the city administrator. He had told Chief Lee Can to put something together, a proposal to see what we can do about police pay and this kind of thing. And so originally I was just kind of brought in as the Microsoft Excel nerd. I didn't have anything to do with the presentations, but I was crunching the numbers because it's what I'm good at, something I've always done. I was a math major in college. Never finished at Arizona State, but maybe one of these days.
Never know.
And so, but anyway, that's kind of was my thing. And so I was originally brought in for that. The tax didn't pass, the pay plan didn't change or whatever. And then I kind of got re-engaged in 2018 when once again, a city council member suggested that we kind of present that information to city council. In 2018, I was much more involved. It wasn't just the math nerd Excel guy. I kind of got more involved in the presentations and that kind of thing. And so those are the meetings that I started to attend to kind of understand how this works. And I knew we were going to have to present to council. Eventually, Chief Lee Can and I and some others that were on that committee presented to city council. And, after kind of yada, 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 the police department did get a pay plan that was different. I'm really proud of that because I remember one of the senior captains at the time told me, I really respect what you're doing, Henry, but we've literally been trying to do this for 30 years. And so it's like, good luck, but don't get yourself, don't get your hopes up. Yeah, don't get your hopes up. Well, we were able to accomplish.
Do you know why you're able? Was it like a community? Usually to me, everything goes.
The community really got involved.
Well, and then you got to communicate to the community, right? Like why this is important, right?
I was going to various, like Rotary and other.
You got to educate, right?
And I did a lot of that throughout the community. I went on the radio. I went on, I was on the news and different things, educating people on kind of what the situation was, because it really wasn't. It was a pay structure issue, and that's a little bit more difficult to implement because the structure, in my opinion, the structure that we had at the time didn't fix the issue. And so just a mere pay increase wasn't going to fix it. We needed to change the structure, and we were able to put a pay plan in place that now just changed the structure. And so, things are better. I think we still can do more. I think there's, things in the structure that can be changed and altered a little bit to continue to improve things, because really this wasn't like, hey, let's just pay cops more. Really, again, when I talk about root causes, root causes or core principles, is we need to retain officers.
Well, that's the thing, right? So I've been around it for quite some time, so I know that it's like you want to have those correct pay structures and have the good pay to retain and recruit the best of the best.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we want. So people can say, man, that cop, that guy, that whatever. It's like, okay, well, let's pay to get the best of the best.
Right. You want the best lawyer, you want the best doctor, you want the best people that you can afford. And that's really what we should have. We should have the best, most professional, most courteous officers that in the state. We really can. And the other thing about police officers is once that you're certified officer, you're somebody that can pass a background, which very few people can. Yep. That means you've never committed crimes in your entire life. And again, people don't apply to be police officers sometimes till they're 26, 27. And there's a lot of things that happen between 17 and 27. Right? We all know that there's a lot of things that happen. So a lot of those things are permanent exclusionary. Yes. Like you'll never be able to be a police officer.
Yeah, I'm out. Are you out? I'm out. Like
you have to pass a polygraph. You have to pass a physical. You have to pass a written exam. You have to pass a psychological exam. You have to, there's all of these things that you have to do. And once you do that, and now you're certified, you're very marketable throughout the state. because you can take that same certification and go anywhere.
Go anywhere, and then so that we could lose the best of the best,
and that's
just that easily.
At the time.
So that's let's go to the part of city councilmen.
Yes.
So when you win, that's something you want to work on.
So here's what I think that we need as a community, and I think it's hard to disagree with, but if somebody does, I'd love to have that conversation. We need to have a safe community. People need to feel safe. People need to actually be safe in this community. So it's not always just a feel thing. Like, we really want people to be safe, whether they're driving down the street, shopping at the mall, going to church, taking their kids to soccer practice. People need to be safe in our community. That's a basic core principle of government.
So that's going to be what you're going to work on, how to figure out the different things.
What do we need to do? And so, right now, I don't know what's going to come before me, but I'll tell you I'll tell you the answer to the test is it going to make us more safe? That's the first question. Number 2, is it going to be good for our business community? And I want to talk about that, because what's good for our business community, when our businesses succeed, salaries increase and they pay taxes. Well, the taxes is what pays for our police officers, our firefighters, our roads, our everything that we enjoy in the community. And then salaries is what puts food on the table. We want working families to thrive. I want working families to thrive in this community. And if they don't have good jobs, we don't have good jobs in this community, then they're not going to. They're going to leave this community. Our best people, our hardest working families are going to leave the community. And so we want a good business friendly, pro growth community. That's the second.
So we're gonna have to wrap up right now.
Okay.
So I just let everybody know how they can find out more information about your campaign and the win voting actually.
And if you have a catchy slogan.
So my catchy.
Vote for Henry.
Vote for Yuma. I think.
Vote Henry Valenzuela.
So it says
for
vote
Yuma.
Henry Valenzuela for Yuma.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't say Yuma City Council, because a vote for Henry is a vote for Yuma. Right? This is a vote for Yuma. This is not a vote for Henry.
That's right.
But we need to come together as a community. And so a vote for Henry is a vote for Yuma. August 4th is the primary election. If you're not registered to vote, register to vote.
Okay.
Pretty soon there's going to be petitions. Find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram. Pretty soon I'll have a website coming up. It's henryforyuma.com. And so look for that stuff on Facebook, social media. Pretty soon I'll have some petitions out. I need at least 998 signatures.
Wow.
And so, I'll need people to sign my petition. If you can contribute to the campaign, that would be great. I could use the support. But more than anything, get registered to vote and then vote in the primary election.
Can we electronically sign the petition?
Yes.
Okay.
And that, we're still waiting on some paperwork to come out for the city. That's supposed to be out soon. Sure. And so we'll start publicizing that.
I'm registered to vote. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I get it mailed to my house.
Yeah.
So I don't have to leave or go anywhere.
Mark the one that says Henry.
I will.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much for being with us,
Yes.
Henry. I really appreciate it. And best of luck with you and your campaign.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that, we are going to go to a break, and we will be back with Justin Haile. He just gave away a truck.
And not to us.
And no, I didn't get it, and neither did anybody in the office. But we're going to find out who won it and how they won it, and everything about the 4th Avenue Gym Athletic Fund. We're going to do that after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Student educational opportunities at KAWC and Border Radio are sponsored by Avenir Financial, a local credit union helping residents of Yuma and La Paz counties improve their financial circumstances with personalized financial tools and support. Learn about Avenir's commitment to tomorrow at avenirfinancial.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA. It's been a year of the Trump presidency, and what a year it has been. If you're Latino, Latina, a trans person, a Muslim, a journalist, and the list goes on. A conversation with our experts on where 2026 might be headed. That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
For KAWC News, I'm Alexandra Rangel. Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva is starting the new year by holding office hours across her congressional district. This marks the first time her staff will be meeting with constituents since Grijalva was elected in September. Her swearing in was delayed until November, which she says affected her ability to hire staff and begin with meeting people in the district.
Because of the delay in my swearing in, some other things have been delayed, including office hours.
Her staff will hold office hours in Yuma County on January 28 at Somerton City Hall, beginning at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Support services will include help with Social Security, Medicare, passport services, IRS issues, as well as veteran and immigration services. For KAWC News, I'm Alexandra Rangel.
Yuma Council for CASA will present Shake, Rattle, and Roll, an Elvis tribute extravaganza starring Scott Bruce on March 13th at the Yuma Civic Center. The performance will focus on Elvis's early years and will benefit the local efforts of court-appointed special advocates. Tickets are available at yumashowtickets.com.
What would life be without friends? Do you have a BFF or a friend who just gets you? Or maybe you're super happy about making new friends this year. Old friends, new friends, BFFs. We're going to be playing a ton of great friendship songs on K-Pop for Border this week. So if you want to escape into some feel-good K-pop, join me for the K-Pop for Border Friendship Show this week on KOFA Border Radio, streaming on web and the KOFA app on Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
I'm Chris Wheeler, owner of Prison Hill Brewing Company. I support KAWC because I think KAWC brings a service to the community that you don't get on commercial radio. You have news, you have entertainment, you have things like Science Friday. It's a perspective that is not available on a commercial platform, and it's oriented towards the community, for the community, and from within the community. Prison Hill underwrites KAWC and community radio because of what it brings to Yuma. It is the local perspective told by residents and from the view of people in the community. I don't think you get that anywhere else. Supporting KAWC really does bring a service that is not available elsewhere. It's a worthy endeavor, and I think that will just feed back and make Yuma a better place. I'm Chris Wheeler, and I support KAWC.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by Justin Haile from the 4th Avenue Gym Athletic Fund. Thank you for being with us, Justin.
Yeah, thank you again. This is my third time. I'm getting spoiled.
You're like the most repeated guest we've had.
I love it.
Because you do a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You always have an announcement.
Yeah. And then when you walked in, it was like just getting started. And I said, if anybody could say that, that's Justin, because there's other things that I know you're going to come up with and surprise the Yuma community with. And it's like, I'm also doing this now. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well, most of the time, though, it's always for the Yuma community, though.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. The community, it's going to be something new. And so we wanted to get an update on how everything went, because you had your schools out there competing. They were selling these raffle tickets that Ronnie bought, I think 5 of them and didn't win with. But, somebody at the school sold the tickets. And so it's just anybody that doesn't know, explain to them. I know you've been here before, but how the fund started and what it is and where it's going.
So the 4th Avenue Gym Athletic Foundation was started to help high school athletics. And so in the last 8 years, we've raised $402,000. The gym donates a portion of our sales back to the charity. And then we do different things throughout the year to help raise funds. We have sponsors that love what I've done, because we always post the before and after pictures, show people what's going on with we want to make sure people understand where the money's going.
Yeah.
A lot of charities and a lot of things you give money to, but you never really see what happens with that money. So that was one of my viewpoints on this, was that I really wanted people to see what's happening. Even in the foundation bank account, I even screenshot the total every once in a while and post it online, because even though I'm really the one out there working hard to raise the money, it's the people's money. It's the school's money that's going to be given to them. So I want people to see
Yeah.
This is where it's at. This is where we're going. And this is what's going to happen with it.
Good.
But, we just finished our truck raffle. We've been on twice to talk about the truck raffle with you guys. That was donated by Alexander Toyota. So
shout out to Alexander Toyota, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. And we talked about it, but you said like, hey, you want to go half on this? And they said, how about we go whole?
Yeah. No, Ryan over there is awesome. He, I offered to pay for half of it, and he was like, no, I know what you do, and I really want to see what happens with this. So he says, we're donating the whole thing. And at first I thought we were going to get a car. And I was like, well, what kind of Toyota are we going to do car? And he's like, no, we're going to do a brand new Tacoma 4-wheel drive. And I was like, man,
It's like really cool.
Everyone would love a Tacoma.
Who wouldn't? For sure.
So it was so shout out to them, because if it wasn't for them, we raised $78,540 on the truck raffle.
Wow.
So a value of one of those is usually around 40 to 42. So we almost did double what the value of that was. And because of Alexander, 100% of that money is going back to our school athletics, which is huge.
Wow.
So how did you pick the winner?
So what we did was,
I
Ronnie
know
really
why
wants to
I
know.
wasn't chosen.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video? I did it
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I did it at Alexander.
Yeah, you were actually there.
I was there.
Was
and
it like a bucket?
I rented one of those big reels.
Whoa.
And so it was almost 4,000 tickets. It was
I know that's so much.
That's a lot of tickets.
So I had to get the big one. And
where'd you rented it? You said?
Yeah, from Ready Rents.
Oh, Ready Rents has them.
Ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they rent them there. So we wheeled it up, and then I drew the winner, and
so crazy.
It was really cool. It was a gentleman from Somerton, Arizona. He was probably in his mid-70s, and he said he had never owned a new car in his life.
I thought it was a kid in the photo.
Yeah. Did he give it to his
the son? He spoke a little bit of English, just more Spanish speaking,
Yeah.
and so the son put it in his name, but the son said mostly the dad's going to drive it.
Oh,
The dad's the one that bought the ticket, and he actually bought it. The truck was parked at Lowe's for about 3 weeks in the front. He had something go wrong at his house.
Oh, no.
And so he had to go to Lowe's to get a part. And the truck was sitting there, and he bought a ticket at Lowe's. And
just like that.
Yeah. And so I said, aren't you glad that part of your house broke?
Oh, it's all connected.
That's
all meant to
crazy. What a cool
be.
story.
So really cool. And it's just cool. Like when I talked to him, he was so sincere. Like, because he would say something to me in Spanish and his son would translate.
Yeah.
But like, the sincerity on his face and how he spoke was just really neat.
And like you said, he never owned a new car.
Yeah,
Neither have I. So next year I'm winning. What are we raffling next year?
Well, I'm hoping that Alexander's gonna want to do this again. We'll see what happens. I already put the fish, like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, the feelers out there.
What's next year, guys?
I said no hurry, but just let me know, because they said that I did tremendous, working on it and raising that type of money. So. Yep. I worked really hard on it.
You were like always at the schools. You were always promoting it.
Yeah, because you went to the games too, right?
Yeah, every Friday night we were at a different high school's game. Yep. So we wanted to give every school an opportunity to be able to
see it.
To see it, and then also to see which school could raise the most money, because that school, the winning school, got $5,000 extra in funding, which was Yuma Catholic.
Yes.
And then Gila Ridge was in second place all the way up until the very end, and Yuma High came back, and they were 190 tickets behind Gila Ridge.
Whoa.
A month before it was over. And then Yuma High came all the way back and took second. So second place got $2,500, and then third place got $1,000.
Oh, so but
ultimately, the rest of the money, which is like another 70,000, will get split equally between all the schools.
Wow.
So everyone, but I also am on track to hit a 70 myself through the gym and what I do. So 70 plus the 78 would put us at about 148,000 raised this year.
And so then how does it, you said the stuff that you do at the gym, is that like the selling the shirts and
so we donate $1 from every shirt we sell, and then we donate $1 from every day pass we sell. And then I do I raffle off a year's membership. I do different things like that. Like that raffle that we had in October with Buffalo, and we take over Buffalo Wild Wings, and then we have our raffle at the gym. Just that alone, we raised $16,000.
So you said $1 a shirt?
$1 from every shirt.
So half of my income probably goes to you guys, because Bo it's all he wears is Fourth Ave Gym shirts.
Sponsored for life.
Yeah.
But yeah, the gym, I think we donate about 30,000 a year just between the gym, and then everything else. Like I say, out of that 70, the other 40, we raise, just sponsors and different things. And that's the big one. Is I think I have around 43 sponsors now.
Holy smokes.
So I owe it to a lot of them. You got the haunted house that last year he gave me $10,000. Evans Concrete's a big one. GCE's a big one. Buffalo obviously is a big one. The list goes on and all, but those are some of the real big guys and obviously Alexander this year, they just went off the top.
Yeah.
Give me a truck.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then if somebody wants to sponsor, how do they do that? What does that look like?
So they can reach out to me. The minimum is $500 a year, and you get an 8x10 ad at both of our gyms. We have a meter wall that's the meter shaped like a dumbbell, and throughout the year I highlighter it up and I show where we're at money wise. So I want people to see what's happening, where we're at. So like right now I actually screenshot of the account this morning. We're at 133,000 in the account.
It's amazing.
So
jeez,
for the school year. So it runs from May till the end of the year. So in April is when I cut it off. That's like when our school year kind of ends and our funding ends. And that's when I give the budgets to the schools. And then,
like the summertime, they get to pick like.
Yep. The schools, I hope by May, they kind of tell me what they want. Yeah. And then I go ahead and knock that out. Summerton, I actually just already bought their stuff because the money's already there. And they really wanted to get it done for this baseball and softball season. Yeah. So the fencing out there in the back is just the fencing. They wanted to put the slots through it. Yeah. The little slots to go through the fencing. What it does is it blocks wind. Like when the catcher is when they're throwing the ball, the catcher can see the ball better because it's got like a color.
Okay.
That's cool.
There's a lot of reasons why it's good. And but that was to do both fields. All the outdoor fences were I think it was $10,500.
Whoa.
So I already dropped the 10,000 for them and ordered that.
I love it.
Jeez, and then so did you talk to the other schools and see kind of what they need already?
Yeah, some of them like Yuma High, that scoreboard we just finished. That was their baseball one, which was huge. It was $27,000 for that board.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it came out awesome, and that one I actually fronted $13,000.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
I knew that we were going to have a big year, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and front the money, and so I went ahead and fronted the money, and then obviously we'll just take it out of this year for them. So I'll definitely like when I know I can do it. I want because some of those kids might be a senior, and next year they're not going to be there.
That's
so
right.
if you could do it as early as possible, you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
so I think that's nice, because those kids deserve to. I have so many people now that are older and they're like, where the heck were you when I was in high school?
Absolutely. Right. And it's interesting because we had Jeff Stoner on yesterday and what he's doing for the elementary schools and the junior high schools and stuff that he has that dodge. I don't know if you're familiar with it. No, you're not.
I'm not.
Oh yeah. He has a dodgeball tournament that's going to be this Saturday. And he raised money from teams. So you sign up, you become a team, whatever. Like there was, I think the first winner was Tom Rush, where he got a bunch of kids from, from Yuma, from YC to go be on this team, and they won. But that's how he gets money, and then he gives it to whatever department needs it most in that particular school. And this year they're doing Woodard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're making they're actually getting another library. They're donating to band and dance.
Oh, good.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So why don't you get a 4th Ave team together?
Yeah, well, one thing that it's funny you guys bring that up. That's one thing I'm doing this year is I'm actually going to take around 10 to 15,000 since it's a big year, and we're actually going to be buying a lot of new balls for all the elementaries and
what? I love that.
So I reached out. I was actually with my mother-in-law on a vacation about 2 weeks ago, and she's been a teacher for 42 years, and she said that this is the first time in 42 years that there's never been one tetherball on the playground.
Oh, that's horrible. I grew up, that was my sport.
Yeah, that was a thing.
So obviously it upset me. And as soon as I got home, I made a bunch of calls. I already called the district. I called Crane's person. I called all of them, and they're already getting me a count for every elementary school, every junior high. And I'm going to either get tether balls probably for elementaries. If they don't have tether balls, we'll get them something different. And then ultimately, I think junior highs, what I heard was they need mostly basketballs and volleyballs right now. So I'm going to try to get all new basketballs, volleyballs for every junior high too. Yeah. So, and try to, I think that if we're going to continue to have big years like this, then like what's an extra 10 or 15 to at least give to the junior highs and
to the little ones.
So do you raise the goal like every year then? Kind of like you want to outdo what you did the previous year? Is that part of the...
I mean, yeah, ultimately I would love to beat the year before. But the big one for me was getting to that $500,000 mark, so this year is going to put us over $500,000 given back in 9 years.
Wow.
And obviously now my goal is to hit $1 million.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It took me,
and then you'll hit it, and then it'll be 2.
Yeah, exactly. It took me 9 years to hit $500,000. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that maybe I can hit $1 million, the other 500,000 in 4 or 5, half the time.
Yeah.
So, and obviously if Alexander hooks me up again.
So that, you're like, no pressure, guys.
It'll be easy to do things like that, So, but I mean, it was a huge success. And I mean, when we have $1 million, I mean, I've even had people already tell me like, hey, like, when you hit $1 million, like have a $1 million party where you charge a bunch of money to come to it, and we'll buy tickets instantly. The guys that count me in for 4 of them.
Party.
Where all the money goes back.
Exactly.
Because events like that, you can make a lot of money for the kids real quick. So
absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break, and I just want to see if there's anything else rolling around your head to make it a bigger year this next time and to raise more money. We're going to do that after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
This is folk singer Michael Jonathan inviting you to an international night of music with the Frail Sisters and the Roots Power Trio from Switzerland, the Kruger Brothers. It's the Frail Sisters, the Kruger Brothers, and an amazing Wood Songs kid on this week's broadcast of the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour.
This evening at 7 p.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM. We can still see the sun through the clouds in Yuma with a high of 71 degrees expected. Winds are becoming northeast at 5 miles per hour. Cloudy in the evening with a low of 53. In Kingman, it's partially sunny with a high of 58 degrees. Becoming clear tonight through the clouds with a low of 41 in Prescott. Patchy fog early in the morning, then mostly cloudy with a high of 54. The low this evening is 35 in Flagstaff. Partly sunny as well with a high of 48 and a low of 26.
The KAWC Student Newsroom is funded by the Local News Initiative at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Scripps Howard Fund, and by generous local support. Thank you for supporting the next generation of public media. Learn more about the project and hear stories from emerging journalists at kawc.org/student newsroom.
I'm Dave Rigg, General Manager for KAWC and KOFA Border Radio. We are looking for music lovers who can help us create this music mix and present it on the radio. If you'd like to volunteer, send me an email to music@borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here talking to Justin Haile from the 4th Avenue Gym Athletic Foundation. And so we talked a little bit off air if you had any surprises coming up, but you kind of mentioned the big thing you're adding is reaching out to the elementary schools. And you were really upset when you found out, like literally very upset. And we also found out that he was the champion at tetherball at what age?
O.C. Johnson.
O.C. Johnson.
Mr. Garcia used to
What
take
year
care of
was
me very
this?
well.
What year was this?
Man, I graduated high school in 97. So what would that be, like 93?
Yeah.
No, that's junior high. So that'd be like,
oh man,
like 89 maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The champ, but so it's like it's a game or something that you participated in when you were younger, and it's like, wait a minute, the kids now aren't going to be able to do this? Like, what's going on? Like,
well, especially if the polls are out there, it's like there's polls out there. You know, like the main thing is we want to have our kids doing activities, and being outside. You know, like it's good to be on a tablet when you're in the classroom. The last thing I want them to do is, all these kids have cell phones now.
That's
Like, I don't want them to be out there on the cell phone. I want them to be playing a sport or doing something physical in a way.
And tetherball's super fun. My uncle actually put one in my backyard for me in junior high.
Oh, they're the best.
It was a blast.
And if they don't have tetherball, we're going to get them something different. So
and that's what you're saying as well. Like whatever they need could go meet that need.
Well, we're going to make sure that they get something that the school needs and help them out a little bit. And it's not going to be a lot, but I mean,
it's something.
Think about some of these scoreboards and these things. Everything is so much money.
I know.
And especially the high schools, a lot of the things that they need are just big ticket items. And so the money gets eaten up real quick. But I that's what I was like, I told my wife, I said, what's 10, 15 grand this year? I said, we had almost $150,000 a year. So it's like, we're going to hook these schools up and help them out.
Yeah.
So, but mainly just them try to help them out a little bit. And then ultimately we want to continue to raise more money, like see what we can do to make this thing bigger.
That's right.
So that's it.
I have no doubt you'll succeed.
So you had mentioned, obviously YC got first place and you said Yuma High was second. Right? Now, is there are they upset now? Is Yuma High, they're like, next time we're going to go get them. We're going to come in for that number one spot.
They really surprised me. I mean, obviously there's so much alumni with Yuma High and because of the name and the history, I wasn't surprised, but they were so far behind in the beginning. I mean, they were like fifth place for a while. Like they weren't even, it was like Kofa and Cibola were ahead of them. And eventually Yuma High just kept creeping and creeping, but they had the second biggest turnout on ticket sales at the game though. You know, YC did tremendous. They did like $3,400 at their game and ticket sales. And then, you know, all the games I was at, and then Yuma High did about 1,400. And the other schools, they all did all right. You know, it was like $600 or so, which, you know, it's better than nothing. So, you know, that 600 and all that keeps adding up.
Yeah, it adds up. Absolutely. As long as they participate. So tell everybody how they can find out more information about that and where to find you on the socials.
So, you know, we have the 4th Avenue Gym Athletic Foundation page on Facebook and Instagram. There's also a website you can donate on. If you're interested in sponsoring, you can come by the gym and just talk to me, shoot me an email. If you're talking to any of the social media pages, you're talking to me. There's no one that runs them but myself.
That's it. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for everything that you do for our community. Really appreciate it.
Here's to my vehicle next year.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ronnie's going to win next year. She's doing it.
I'll buy 10 tickets this time.
You'll get 2 for free.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
He said it.
And with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornelas, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
And you can find out more about KAWC at kawc.org, on Facebook at KAWC Radio, and on the KAWC app. And stay tuned following our program for KOFA Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's program, we're going to be joined by Urban Trigger. He's a photographer, and we're going to be talking about lowriders and what he does for that, as well as Jason Peters, who actually was downtown begging for money, and now he washes windows and has his whole company for it. Yeah, absolutely. Great story.
Okay, cool. And you can listen to the podcast version of our program at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio, and email us at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you again. And thank you guys for listening. And happy birthday to all the birthday people out there.
Happy birthday.
Thanks for listening to KOFA Yuma, whether it is on the radio at 94.7 FM or 1320 AM, or on your smartphone with the KOFA app, or on your computer at kawc.org. We are glad you have chosen us.
The Yuma County Library District provides activities and resources at its branches for people of all ages. Events include story time, citizenship classes, bilingual programs, crafts, author talks, and more. For more information about the activities and calendar of events, plus other in-person and online resources, visit yumalibrary.org.
BBC News with David Harper. Venezuela and Cuba say at least 55 military personnel were killed during the U.S.